Huh? Where is the game? Alright. Alright, wait a second. Did some Windows arranging? Oh, it doesn't capture. Hold on. Nope. Sorry for waiting. Hold on. Specific window. Hopefully it captured this time. Yeah, it does. And it's surprisingly big. Alright, we're rolling. Say something in chat. Is this good? I'm excited. Let's go. Yes, it's on. Yes. That's clear, of course.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was...
If you want me to do Counter-Strike stuff, please let me crouch jump. Oh, hey pizza. How are you doing? Should you be decoding? Well, I'm not in a position to judge because I'm not being productive either. So, yeah.
Constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games.
There's something there.
Not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda.
Okay.
So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at DAVEYWRE.
I'm gonna send a complaint email because the movement speed in this game is way too slow, but whatever.
DEN@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction.
No!
Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Wait a second, the audio is off because, you know, you're hearing me through the mic and a game audio through the mic, and I can give filters. So I'm gonna try. Let's see if there's one for that. Nope, they didn't account for weird headphones. Sorry. I'm just gonna put down the... Yeah, I don't know. Gonna have to stuck with this.
As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction.
Oh, you fire with E.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Whisper machine. What does it even mean? I love walking simulators.
Hostile alien life form inbound.
I don't have ammo anymore. Sorry.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere.
No, I see.
You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin shooting activation.
Oh. It's different than you think, so we're not the fighter.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Me too. Is it gonna open for me? Oh, yeah, it is. So I'm dumb. Okay,
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Can I go back?
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Sure, it's not real, so. Yeet.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. What? Alright. Hey. Huh? The fuck? I have an out-of-body experience, I think. Can I fly? No.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Didn't know it was this guy thing. Oh, now.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh no, that's a horrible idea. I love it. No, please. This is painful.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Huh. Oh, and holes. Oh, that's why I can still walk. I hate it. Because when she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Oh, white room. Daring today, aren't we? Oh, I can't just walk to it. More text. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength? By eating spinach. Spinach.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Ah, I can walk. No. Oh no, I hate this too. Why does he have to?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do? Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Are you doing it slow run? Nah. I can't reverse it, okay. So there is something at the top. What? Huh?
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Is this what an artist sees?
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Are these spoilers for the games we are about to see? Because those are some good ideas. What engine does this run in, though? It feels like a...
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Ooh, smoke. I can... there are walls. Oops.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
That was clever.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Why would he hide? What? Why would that be a thing? It's insane.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior, and then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
What? Ah, you're again. Oh wait. Again?
Aha.
A sequel.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Hey, this was in the trailer. Can I? Ah. So I'm an invisible
Let's talk
slope.
about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Good.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors.
Now,
That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Was I supposed to do this? Well, therefore I'm doing it now. Oh, here. Oh, this glass. Very, very almost invisible glass. What? Prison. Where prison? This is tricky.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the door stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games.
Oh, shit.
That was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in, and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Cool. That's insane. I want to drop down there. Why am I going to the chat box? You can hear me. Yes, it's a weird game. I don't get it. The trailers made it seem like just another Stanley Parable, but I don't know. This story seems intriguing. I want to know why he stopped. This shit is gold.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Is there a skybox here? Clouds and no floor. I mean, a floor, but clouds and stuff. Test.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
What was up there? Yes, there was a world stamp with whiteness. There was an enormous prison I spent hours in. Yes, there were floating color blocks. Just one. Yeah, same. The music is that. That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Did you have to go get through the puzzle with 2,000 switches? Yes. It's literally the last thing I did before coming here. No, I don't remember having to go through the puzzle. I'm fairly tired from when we met. Please tell us how you solved this. I don't remember how I solved this. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I didn't solve it. Someone else let me in. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. They all don't make sense. Okay. Alright. You don't want to be trapped in a prison. What? What did it say? I didn't remember. Oh, whatever. There's something with an ending. Oh, hey. Oh, shit. Here we go again. Yeah, that was pretty strange. Oh shit. Now it's a horror game. Actually, I'm gonna do both a favor. There's no music volume control? Aww. Sorry.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level. It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you...
Yeah, I know, but you will all... It doesn't really matter if it also, Yeah, I'm gonna do it down a little bit. And turn on the captions. I don't know what this does, but I'm just keeping on stereo. Is he gonna say something? Did he ask me something? Oh shit. What do we do now? Do we walk back? Didn't ask me anything. I think. I don't want to restart the entire thing, but I think I have to. Said something about... Sorry. What, the post? Hey! That's not funny.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Oh,
Every
this is
video
all
game
the
runs
things
on
again.
what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
What
So
is-
in other words, the engine...
What do you mean shag the post? Like press it? I don't have...
is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine
Speedrun.
called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that
Whoa.
it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because
Oh,
he's
yes, I
working
will.
with what the engine does well.
Oh,
The
that
tools
way. Okay,
available to the
thanks.
creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's
Yes.
games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Yeah, that movement. That was still funny. Oh, I need to move into prison. I forgot.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original
Spamming
design,
enter
the
now.
door stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think
Yes,
we're gonna
thanks.
skip that.
Oh wait, enter didn't. Oh, I got myself stuck. No. How did it even do that? Is there a developer console? Sure hope so, because I don't think there are achievements. This is Source, right? Ah. I mean, I didn't fully remove it probably, but... How do we even... No, we're not gonna skip it. The next one might be very long. And it's already... Yes, we're gonna eat in a bit, probably. Okay, I forgot
Let's talk
to
about
stuck
video
one
game
more time
development
and
for a
I'm gonna
second.
rage quit.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Shut up. I can do this though for now. So he was shut up. Okay, let's try the movement again. Whoa. Ah, I should have stayed on the gray space. Another thing Source does well is just, you know, being good for Source fanboys. It doesn't really do jack shit good. Except for great for if you want a very retro game, I guess. Retro game. It's like trying to say that Minecraft is good in certain things as a game engine, but it's just because it's popular. I never said that Source would be good or something. It's just that Source games are good thanks to the options they've already got. Oh, and Source 2 will be very good, of course. Bouncy Castle. Well, of course I'm not going to just say flat out say, oh hey, Source kinda sucks. Because it doesn't, but it's not the best engine and we all know that. It's just the best engine and we all know that. Okay, not that way. I want that zip file, it's a collectible file. Like 100 playable games, just as a Discord prank. Yeah, Source 2, but the full release, like with FPS stuff, because Source 2 I think was used in Dota? I don't know. There was a game with Source 2, or Steam VR used this, but like not all parts had been fully released. Yes, I forgot about half of Alex. Source 2 is now only released. Yes, I forgot about SFM 2 too. I'm just a little stuck in the past when I think about Source 1. I need to go through this like 10 times. And it doesn't matter what to say. You've been there. Now this is important. Puzzle. Okay. I can remember, but whatever. No, I can't think harder. Because I have an apple in my brain, so if I think harder, I'll just explode and won't get surface because I didn't pay for it. Yeah. No, I can't think too hard because of it. The black space, yeah. The hammer editor is the place where the sun don't shine, which is the level editor for Source and for Gold Source and for Source 2 even. They didn't even make a new editor. Oh yeah, I won't forget for the lamppost. But I can't run while paused, which is why it's logic because of the dialogue. Okay, here we are.
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. He didn't ask me what to do. Oh, now it just stops, okay. So it was stuck back then. Oh, Miiverse. Rip Miiverse. Oh, you know what you should do. Where can you leave notes? How do you leave a note? I'm pressing Y. Nice room, yeah. Enter.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet.
Oh.
All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Okay, I get
But it's
that.
ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really special to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection.
Wow.
I felt as though
That's
he
amazing.
was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Boy. I can assure you, guaranteed that there's an acorn somewhere here in this place, and there's a duty free. Please make the text centered. Or not, because it's more funny if it's not centered. I'm not gonna read all of them, by the way. Just some, if I want to. It's like €8, 9 the game. And you can skip levels, so you can go to here if you want. Or I could mindlessly record it, but I think someone has done it before, right? Actually, I'm gonna check. Oh god. 6 minutes. Oh no, he didn't really do it right. Well, luckily it's the only video I can find, so hopefully nobody has done that. Not that I want to, myself. So where do I go again? Oh, I have 2 viewers right now. Hello! I can see who you are. No. But you can type in chat, the second viewer. Please. Or else I will never know. It sounds ominous. What? Can I see the viewers? Okay, let's hurry. I can walk while checking the thing, luckily. And that's normal.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here,
Hey,
I'll tell you
spoiler.
what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the
thanks.
time that he...
I need to see it first. Lurks. Never seen him. And sorry for the touch. Huh. Shut up, Twitter. Thanks. He has an icon or something like that. Well, it's a new viewer, so welcome to the club.
was
I
making it.
guess.
And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In
I
each of
didn't
his
get that.
games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda
And I didn't get the text, but I'm not restarting, of course.
can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Oh, okay. But I did get that part.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Someone said it's not so bad in here. How do you leave notes? Oh god. This is my favorite room right now. Shut up. Don't tell me to speak.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Am I a porn star now? You bet I am. Ahem. Okay, but let me exit or something. Oh. I'm gonna... Oh, I thought this was a shower or something. Small house. Except for this basement. I'm now in the
See,
well.
like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Does it have the same name? Oh shit. Thanks. No, not a hole. That's not a hole. That's a huge picture of a horse, sure. Tesla coils. That's not gonna happen. It's gonna be the TV, I think. Why is this an option? Ah, finally, it opens up. Hold on.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Well, you don't know the meaning, do you?
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Oh, wow, my camera flew off. Klik on de table. Oh, er is geen tafel, maar oké. Oh wel. Waarom praat ik ineens Nederlands? Photo frame en klik to turn it slightly. That's a shower. It's a shower, Corpus. Where is the light? Floor lamp in his room. Oh, that isn't a shower. I'm not even drunk. What is this? I'm gonna turn it back. I don't want to leave the picture like this. Eat. Okay.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. I'm coming out of a tunnel, or at least darkness. There's a small village, a maze, a hedge maze. Not really, just a few hedges. And a telephone. Let me move my camera. Time travel.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
What? Okay, this is a weird one. We're gonna stop after this level, okay? I'm different, sometimes you're scared, I'll get out and I think you're the same as before. You're not really the same person now, so it's like that, you feel changed. Okay. Hurry, hurry, hurry. What? Okay. No. I don't know. Yeah. After this, we're stopping. Will make sense. Okay, I can tell. Let's just talk a bit later. Clear here as long as you need. Oh, that's the only option. I don't want to be here there as long as you need. Okay.
I can see why he considers this.
zit geluid er gewoon helemaal uit dan. Misschien kan ik het geluid. Als het geluid gewoon goed is, dan is het op de eindtijd. Wat gewoon woordjes houden. I'm back. So at 6:45 or just let's say 6:40, I'm gonna eat. So yeah, I was about to say something.
It's a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh, he's not gonna know. How? How long is the stream been going? Almost an hour. That's gonna be fun to upload.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
And, of course, the house. Are you still watching? Oh, Lurks is watching. Thanks.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Okay. I want to do that in real life. Please character the style. No, would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? Oh, we're not doing that. I'm out. I'm not out, sorry. Ugh. That's the bathroom. Or is it just my bed? Should have said it earlier. Brug. You gonna say something other? Frontier speak of each pillows and scout their back. Did you come out the street? Okay, where is the couch? Oh, there. Nice. This is kind of satisfying. Just dots? Oh, that's so satisfying. Instant dishes. You're not human, I think. Where's the sink? The tub, I mean. gamey. What is it again? Oh, books. Since it's a source game, you can just run these levels in
After the intense set of
pack.
prison games,
Whatever.
this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Oh no.
I know that Kuda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
The top. Again. Yes. Housekeeping. Again. Get this is a masterpiece and all, but please let me stop.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
Hold on. Even new viewers come, so text a warning sign. Let me put up a warning sign. Alright. I think it should just be put like here. I don't remember all the other things were. Chat box is there, viewer, alert. Oh, that's the alert, but no one subs to me. So I can just put it here. I don't have anything blocking it. Yeah, okay, that's good. Books, pillows for the couch, we go straight in nap. Okay, I think we're almost done with this level. Sorry, I'm trying to be up the whole time.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well.
Oh, the
Again,
windows are gone.
you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
That's sad, the house was nice. I mean, constant cleaning is a bit meh, although the music was comforting. That's like a lot of people's view in heaven, but I'm not gonna start on that.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
I'm in college. Oh, I'm a different person now, I think. One of my brothers, actually. but I don't feel useless. I have high self-confidence, so this doesn't speak to me.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Holy!
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Cool. Oh, I didn't want to say that. I didn't. I want you to follow your dreams. I do too. Well, it must be awful. I want to go there. Ah, please. First, he is being wise and intelligent. Drinking is not hurting my life. It isn't. At least not my life. Alcohol is great. I want to walk to the portal. Or the black hole, or whatever. It's everything. It's black, it's purple, and it's fire. I think I'm the only thing. What's the easiest, simplest path forward? And the thing is, what is assist? There's no path in. Go away, screenshot thing. I want to. Yes, look out. Just listen. Run!
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Hey, we're in 2010 now. The year of, I don't actually know.
This
Can we
one took a
click on
lot
the table?
longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Okay. Got some chairs, got some doors, got a stage. And it's big. It's very big. Is this how big stages are in real life? I've been on stages. The stage is almost more than the how many chairs there are. Frick. No. Okay. Oh, there's a wall. Nee. Wise, happy, focused, and successful. Try have leave. Where's bathroom? Hello. So I can say something meaningful. Yes, I know. Yes. Well. reserve it all. Cones bounce when you touch someone. Oh, this is cool. Let's try some stuff. Yes, I'm gonna bounce off the stage, which you can't do because there's a boundary there. So now let's try a combo. This is actually one of the funnest things in the game. I like this. I mean, the whole game is good, but I'm gonna play with this after after I 100% it, or at least complete. Okay, let's not get stuck. Really hard to get where you are. I bet you've learned to lead to pain. What are the sacrifices you've made? You're messing it all up again. Nay, I'm freaking around. Oh, I can walk on you. No! Bring it back. I want to walk on her instead of me. Her on me. Lampposts again, so this is gonna be yes.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Whoa. It's only getting more and more. But still, 2010. Just keep your eyes closed, click to begin the game. I'm not... Oh, it closes the eyes for me. No. What are they saying? Can't see anything. No! Oh. I can walk here.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Oh. Honest. Ah. Honest. My work is always fun. I can't keep making these. What? Okay. That's... he just stops.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
I'm alone. Yes. What?
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
The answer is just a new piece of the level. Cool. The level's load kinda fast. This looks nice. A thick tree. No, really, that tree is really thick. I'm trying to find this engine that used. Oh, way screenshot. Protect me. Hello. Can't go back, can't go. Oh, there. Wow. Well, let me continue then.
If the last game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I pressed 3, by the way. Well,
Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
okay, first you have to open the door. Oh, now the black space is white. Now you have to press the switch on the inside. Then you have to close the first door. Press the switch on the inside. That was simple.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Walls on walls. Text on walls. It isn't. I mean, not for him at least.
seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me.
Yeah.
I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
I can make myself. No, that's not true.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so lost. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
Oh, there's a person.
But it didn't stop.
That's great.
After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months.
Hold on. There's a door that's making noise. I think it's my door and I don't like it.
And comes up with a new game.
A guard. Who's Coda again? Oh, it's himself. Lol. Ma'am. I'm a woman. That looks dope. I want me one of these in my room.
And of course, it's the machine.
The sounds in this. We're just keeping us healthy. Stop the feelings. He doesn't respond. Vibrations. Any of us going through right now. We just to go back to crossing. Yeah, speaks right there. He doesn't respond. I mean, he is a machine, but it's supposed to be the developer or something? I don't know. So he's talking to himself as a machine. We need to go out and apologize just to make sure people that you're about to suffer. I've been so. How late is it? Hey, stop. Hold on. Alright, just wanted to check if the Steam overlay showed something weird, and it did, but not something bad. Sorry, machine. Look at the city. Like, even that's weird. This looks like a sponge. That's just this really makes me uncomfortable. It's not like I say these things. Oh, not failure. It's funny. Let's try the machine. Like every option is not fun. Oh, that was weird. It's like I was like, yep, come in, and we're back at the stage again. Walk with license. Finally, I have the gun again, but like, huh? Not in a good way, I guess, because we're going to destroy a machine. I can't walk off stage. I have secondary fire now. That's
Remember,
cool.
you can click to fire the gun.
Oh. Oh. Ah, I can't do that. I wanted to rum.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation.
Oh,
And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
I know this is bad, but it's also satisfying, so sorry. And I can fall out of it.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
I wanted to do the switch. G? How? G?
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem.
Oh!
When they told me...
I'm sorry. I think it's time to stop. It says it's right there. You can't see. Wait, if I put a cursor here and my right screen, yes, then you can see it. Stopping at 6:30. But don't worry, I think I'm gonna pause, so... No, I'm gonna really just stop the stream, so... Chapter 15, The Machine. I'll just continue from the start. And
how much they enjoyed his games. It was the best.
thanks for watching. I don't know if you enjoyed it, but please give me feedback on my Twitter or something. Oh wait, my Twitter. It's my Twitter is. That's my Twitter. So give me feedback. Yeah.